friends and neighbors to Rockstar Journeys, where you're the star of the various journeys upon which we do hitherto partake. Your hosts Deacon Beacon and Jenny G. This week's fantabulous adventure is Farter at the Del Mar Fair, which I will never call the San Diego Fair, by the way, in beautiful Del Mar, my hometown, by the way, right on the beach where the surf meets the turf. Where the turf meets the surf in old Del Mar, in old Del Mar. And as usual, Florida put on a great show, and a perfect example of how sometimes people get all upset because somebody's not the original. Oh, I'm not going to go see them because not the original band lineup. Well, that guy Hanson came in 2005, and if you close your eyes, it's almost like the Journey singer. You can't tell the difference. The one from the Philippines that took over. Anyway, we're going to let Jenny talk a little bit today because her history goes back pretty far with Florida, right? I believe you said, right, Jenny?
Yeah, my dad got me into the music. Shout out to him for Father's Day, remembering him. He got into music really early, and Florida was one of those bands. And I can remember standing up on top of chairs to play the stereo that was kept out of my reach. I always wanted to play that album. That first album could definitely be the greatest hits album, for sure. So that brought back some memories for me.
That was one of the first albums you ever had, you said?
Very first, one of the first albums I ever had as a small child. Yeah.
So, commendations to her parents for getting her started with the classic rock, which is called classic for a reason. And I find more and more younger people gravitating toward it. So many great YouTube videos alongside ours where you have these very young kids, 10 or even younger, but especially like 10, 12, 13, 14-year-old doing their renditions of classic rock songs, Led Zeppelin, various ones. I remember one of my experiences, I never had any kind of backstage experiences before or anything like that, but they were always an amazing band. I was lucky enough to see them about 10 or 12 times over the course of the years, including this last Thursday when we saw them at Del Mar Fair. But I remember one in particular where I was at the Laughlin River Run, which they don't do anymore. It used to be the third largest motorcycle festival in the country after Sturgis and Daytona out in Florida. But just being amazed, like they would play a song and I'd be like, oh man, I didn't realize Foreigner did that song. And be like 2 songs later, oh my God, I didn't know they did this song. I mean, they really, when you go see one of their shows, it's a litany of hits, which is what primarily they've had over the years. Very class act, great vocals from a vocals perspective, and just want you to enjoy some of the clips that we got done. a little bit about the Del Mar Fair. I grew up there. It was one of the very first times I got to play in front of a live crowd. Was at the Del Mar Fair. Graduated Torrey Pines High down in Del Mar back in 1870 something. But I know a couple of my friends were there. Saw some postings online about that. Shout out to you guys from Torrey Pines. Rock and roll. It's about time, Del Mar. You got some rock and roll acts back into the lineup there. Because I haven't seen any in the last couple years. You know what I mean? Of course, there's not many of us left, so that might be part of the problem. But anyway, enjoy some of these clips from the Del Mar Fair and Foreigner. And just to let you know, we've got some really exciting stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're talking about maybe Metallica, a little band you might have heard of very soon. Metallica on the platter. And we got Heart again. We already did a video for Heart, but we're going to be able to see Heart very soon in San Francisco. So a couple of upcoming things, and we're doing a cruise. We're thinking about doing a Mediterranean cruise here pretty soon. So a lot of stuff on the platter for Rockstar Journeys. And once again, thank you for tuning in. Rockstar Journeys, where you're the star of the various journeys upon which we do partake. Rock and roll!